take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Man, on this beautiful Tuesday, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Joining me to my left is Ryan Ermanni. It's my man, Anson Wells. Anson, how you doing? Love to have you as always. And I'm digging the shirt.
Thank you.
I'm digging the Freaky Zeke shirt, man. Now tell me, where will you come about, stumbling on something like this?
This is a Salvation Army find.
Shut the front door.
It really is. I wore it because I knew you were going to be here today. I knew you'd appreciate it.
I like the shirt, man.
And what I'm not going to share is the fact that this is a men's Forever 21 shirt.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that they made men's stuff.
I thought it was a boy's large.
It probably is. Maybe a boy's XL, Maz.
and
extra medium.
And right on time with the humor is my man Tom Mazway. Tom back from New Jersey and kicking it with Sammy Maz. Maz, it's good to see you. How was Jersey?
Hey, Bray. Had a great time, Bray. The weather wasn't great, but we made the best out of it. And it's always good to see your family, right?
100% is good to see
Always
your
good.
family. Speaking of family, I ask that you pray for mine. I won't give you too many particulars, but when you guys ask in chat us to pray for you, we always do.
Absolutely.
So we ask that same thing. Appreciate you for tuning in. Send your boy and his family a couple shots up to the big man, if you will, or big whoever you pray to. It will be appreciated. I like that shirt. The Salvation Army, like the kids are into that now, the high schoolers. That's where they get a lot of their gear, a lot of their stuff, and I'm kind of okay.
I've been into it, well, I don't want to date myself, but basically 96, I found a pair of 1967 vintage bell-bottoms.
Wow.
And I didn't have much money, right? I was my freshman in college.
So it's the same as today then.
100%.
Yeah.
But there was a Piston starter jacket.
Yeah.
And I only had money for one or the other. Now, those pants are my favorite pants in the world. However, I still rue passing up that starter jacket.
You gotta
it
get
was
the starter
mint.
jacket.
Man, it was sick.
Wow.
I know.
You should have asked the lady or the
Nothing like
gentleman to
starter
hold it
jackets.
for
Well,
you.
but you got to remember.
Nothing like starter jacket.
Put on layaway.
And in the 90s,
layaway.
in the 90s, you could still find them, kind of.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
to find one of those, it's like a $400 vintage jacket.
Is that where you found your
or more.
Lakers versus a Pistons t-shirt I see you rocking?
No, that actually, I was riding my dad's shoulders, leaving in Los in 1988 at the Silverdome, and there was some dude selling bootleg
course.
shirts out on the what is that, the northwest corner of Featherstone and Opdyke.
Or Martin Luther King Drive right there.
That was my dad's shirt that I stole back.
Silverdome.
Oh yeah,
100%. We'll get into what happened with Jahmyr Gibbs getting injured yesterday.
Oh my God, did I get
We'll
scared.
dive into that. We got scared. We have some
I'm
words
still
from some of you
scared.
guys that are reporting on
Yeah,
X.
Scott Erickson.
We'll get to. Well, I guess we'll get to it now.
Well, I'm just-
no. Just give me a quick second before we get there. I want to talk about Steph Curry before we forget. I know it's Tuesday, but you and I weren't in yesterday. We didn't get a chance to talk about what that game was
you
on
weren't.
Saturday.
Right.
You
Well, I
weren't.
wasn't. I was representing Woodward Sports.
No, let's
Randy
talk about it.
White.
Let's talk about it, baby.
And then also, too, Sharon Moore is at the podium right now. And Maz, he just said something I know Michigan Staters want to dive into. But first and foremost, the performance that Steph Curry put on, especially in that, just the whole game itself. Like, have you ever seen anything like that? And if you have, who?
Steph Curry about circa 5 years ago, and then the 10 years before that. I mean, this is what we've come to expect out of Steph when he was on top of it. Well, let me take that back. I'm going to walk that back to when the Golden State Warriors were the class of the NBA. And at that point, you knew that it didn't matter. They could be down 7. There could be 2 seconds left. This guy will jack it from 36, and you, with all likelihood, you think it's going in.
Yeah.
So, he was a big player and a big part of a lot of the close wins that we saw throughout this tournament. But what he did at the end of that game was so special. Victor and the French, they had it in their blood. They were ready to take that game back. But Steph just was having none of it. Absolutely none of it. And that's what we've come to expect out of him for his career. We talked about it a little bit yesterday with Ryan, and he selects him as the player of this generation. And the reason I like that over LeBron is because this guy, for the first time ever, has made it seem like anybody could do what he does. Yeah. He's not dunking over people. He's not doing otherworldly stuff like you've seen LeBron, like Kobe, like Michael. This is a guy who's basically 6 to 6'2", which a lot of people are, and he fires it from the perimeter. He does it with just cerebral play and a great handle. He made the NBA and greatness seem reachable for everyone, and that feels very comfortable. Seeing him get that last hurrah, even though it's with Steve Kerr, you could tell at the end of that game that those guys were like, man, we finally got one more.
Tom, as well, I come to you. Your favorite player is Steph Curry. You've been saying it now for the past 3 years. I believe you. I want to ask you the same question because you've seen more sports than myself and Anson and KG. You've seen more moments. You've seen more players overcome things or rise to the occasion. This is the world stage, man. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Well, Michael Jordan, what he did.
Yeah.
And it's the NBA. That was the greatest. It's the greatest talent in the world, especially back in Michael Jordan's day.
Yeah.
The world is kind of caught up now to the U.S. They're getting there.
Truth.
So I'd still put him on his own plateau, all the things that he's done. But Steph Curry, without a question, is the greatest shooter, pure basketball player in the world, in the history of the game. And at basketball, it's to put the ball in the basket. And nobody does it like him. And he should have been named MVP, if you ask me, Bray.
Yeah, no, I really think so, too. I'm going to give you my answer. In my 41 years of living, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And this is why I said, we've seen record-breaking. We've seen the Usain Bolt performance. We've seen him do it multiple times, so then you get kind of accustomed to it. You've seen Michael Jordan, and still the greatest player of all time to me. But to see somebody with the world watching, like this is the whole world watching. Like you said, the world is caught up to Team USA. Yep. You got LeBron on this team, KD on this team. I think Jason Tatum's on the bench somewhere. You got all this going on with this squad in
Definitely
America.
on the bench.
Everybody was frozen in time watching this game, and Steph chose this moment, which he's never been there. That was the other thing. Like he's never been to the U.S. He's never been on a Team USA. So for him to rise to the occasion with the world, like this wasn't a national championship on the line. This wasn't an NBA Finals on the line. Like this was a gold medal, and most people think it's bigger, and I think it is too. This is for your country, with all the other countries watching around the world. And not only did he show up, he showed out. The one that he hit, which was funny because you see Bam over there in the corner, and I seen Bam Adebayo say something on it. Like when I was wide open, I said F, but then I realized who was shooting it. He had no business shooting that, except for his name was Steph Curry. And not only did he shoot it, he made it, he buried it, and the rest is history. At Maz, it made you feel a certain way. 19.8 million watching that. We were complaining. People couldn't even find how to get to the stream. Yeah. Now you got 19.8 watching.
Well, we got used to the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock game. You know what I mean? And we knew 3 o'clock. That's when it's live basketball time.
They're gonna be on.
It was 6 games, like he said. Like Anson said, 6 games is not a lot of games to play to win a gold. Maybe next time they add a few more games in there to win that gold, to really earn that gold medal. They only had to win 4 to get in the medal round. Yeah. And that was pretty easy. And
I wouldn't say it was easy.
He saved their bacon. There's not a question about it.
I think, though, the more games you put in there, the more chemistry you allow, which makes it easier and easier and easier, I think, for Team USA. I think that works in their favor. I think the way it's set up now, you can see a France almost sneak that win. You can see a Serbia come back and almost sneak that win. So I think if the world wants to have a chance to win, they might want to keep the format now because the more games, I'm not lying, the more games they play.
3-game championship.
100%. The more games.
Hey, it's easier to win a best of 3 and a best of 5 than a best of 7.
Yeah,
you're right.
You ain't lying.
And you saw them struggle in the Americas tournament in the lead up to the Olympics. Yeah. I think that's a great point. These are guys that have played against each other. Aside from maybe an All-Star game or two, they have never really played together. And seeing them mesh as that tournament ended right when they needed to. I mean, listen, we've seen Steph Curry hit a lot of open shots. Yeah. But that 30-footer over 2 guys to cement that game, it's just what legends are made of.
Let me ask you guys this. Had U.S. lost, and let's say Serbia played France.
Joker Wemby.
Who's the MVP? True. Is it Wemby? Is it Joker?
Whoever wins that game, I think. It would be one or the other.
Because those 2 guys were very important to their team. Oh, yeah. Very important.
Yeah, 100%. If USA loses that game, then it could be one of those guys. I think it'd be Wemby. I think it would be Wemby. I know
he's something.
I know Jokic is Jokic, and I know Jokic did come to play. He did perform. But you can argue that Jokic wasn't even the most important person on the court. When they almost beat not the Pistons.
Bogey.
Yeah. When they almost beat, I was thinking Pistons. Bogdanovich was when they almost beat USA. Now that's because of, and in part, Jokic, but Bogdanovich came to play that day, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure did.
Yeah,
That was a hell of a game. And
It was a hell of a basketball Olympics. Like even the
Yeah,
women's, even
it
the
was.
women's final against the same team.
I didn't
France
watch it.
the next
Caitlin
day.
wasn't in.
It came
We
down
all
to the
know.
wire.
We all know,
We know,
Maz.
Maz.
Yeah,
He's a
what
terrorist.
It
We
came-
all
time was
know.
that on, by the way?
Came,
Never mind.
man, shut up. Came down to the wire. The girl from France, man, she hit it.
I know,
What
I
she
saw
thought,
it.
oh,
I saw
I
it.
felt so terrible for
What
her.
a play that they had,
Yeah.
and what a shot, man. Bank shot,
Yeah.
but her foot's on the line.
Why did the blonde pass that rock? She had enough time to take another 3 steps and pull the trigger on a 26-footer.
Yeah.
There, he would have been way open, or she would have been way open. Now I know the other girl made
because
that shot,
Williams was hot.
but so was she. The blonde girl, I
Literally.
forget her name, but they both were. Hats off to them. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a great
Berets off
finish.
to them, you mean? Berets.
Berets. Maz, you with the jokes
Well
today.
played.
I'm telling
You with the
He's
jokes
sharp.
right on time.
You got to get your boy over
Speaking
here.
of jokes, I know Michigan State
I'll
has
be here
some
all
jokes.
week.
Sharon Moore at the podium about 15 minutes ago, he announced that Jim Harbaugh will no longer be honorary captain in this week's first opening. So it seems like Michigan is backing off. War Manual announced before the
Son of a
NCAA came
gun.
down with the sanction on Jim Harbaugh. He announced that Jim would be honorary captain. Sharon at the podium today announcing that Jim, and this is what Jim said. Jim said he didn't want to leave the Chargers.
Yeah.
His father and mother will be in his stead. Anson, I give you first crack. What say you about this
it out
event
the
and
way.
Sharon Moore going back on Jim Harbaugh being honorary captain?
I guess on Twitter I keep seeing shameless, and they've never had shame in their game. They have proudly run a system of repression, and
Here
for
we go.
150 plus years. And I thought it was completely consistent with U of M for them to do this, because not only do they not care getting caught doing what they do, but then they'll double down and put it back in your face. To be quite honest with you, I'm really surprised. And I got to tip my beret to Sharon. I think that's the right move.
I'm disappointed.
You know, you've got a second time that they're coming back and penalizing people for the same thing. And I'm sorry, Bray, but they have rushed to a penalty or a punishment both times in between. The propaganda network known as Netflix already released a definitive documentary, but yet we've got a whole second chapter here. I want to know when chapter 3 is coming out, and I'm really glad that Sharon understands that this isn't done and that there's no reason to add insult to injury, pour any salt in the wound. The guy's lost his whole coaching staff. Maybe we back up and stop pushing this down people's throats. I think he made a great move today.
It would have been nice for the fans to welcome him and thank him one last time for what he did for that program. I feel that he should have still come.
You mean when he ran out of town with his whole coaching staff so that they couldn't get in trouble? Why do we have to honor that?
Well, that's up to you guys. I mean, that's just, don't be bitter.
You guys, I'm not bitter. You guys started me. You guys started with me. I'm
if
telling
you want to
you.
bring Mel Tucker in as your honorary captain for a game, you're
Wait
more
a
than
second.
welcome. We don't care.
Half of Michigan staff has been fired.
Right.
Central Michigan's network staff has been fired. And he took the rest of the staff with him to San Diego. These guys know that they are
LA.
at fault. Okay? And they've done everything to shirk responsibility. And no one's holding them truly accountable. But yet they want to still honor the guy that realistically, everyone in Michigan will not allow to be disgraced, but I'm sorry, they've disgraced themselves. The fact that there isn't why? I know that Mr. Michigan over here, KG, hitting the soundboard, but you know it's true. You know it's true. There should be a big maize or corn colored asterisk next to the big blue M that you
Get
guys
over
put
yourself.
above your national. It's not getting over myself.
Honestly, get over yourself.
You got a vein in your
Get
neck, man.
over defending a continuously at fault program.
Bull. That's bull.
With that being said,
Honestly,
I agree.
that is such bull.
With that being said, hey, look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and Anson's allowed to have his. With that being said, I like that Sharon Moore took this back. We know this wasn't
man.
Jim Harbaugh wanting to say, hey, I'm going to stay with the Chargers, who are in L.A., by the way, Anson, no longer San Diego.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I had to let you go. You're on one right there. I like it. But at the end of the day, this is the right move. You take Jim Harbaugh at it. You don't want to consistently throw shots and troll the NCAA and the rest of the Big Ten, et cetera, because they're trying to get you. They're trying to keep it around long enough in terms of the noise, the static, that something sticks, that something catches. So the more you troll, the more they'll go back and they'll try to find things. Just let it go. Just let it be what it is. Don't bring Jim Harbaugh. He'll have his time at some point, but right now, Sharon made the right move. It's not now.
And it's time for it to be Sharon's team.
True.
Michigan fan, I know you guys want to honor Jim Harbaugh. I brought you a national championship. But if you want to see your team succeed, you have to say goodbye to that era. Take that 1 foot that you still have in the Harbaugh pool and put it firmly back in Ann Arbor. Sharon made a great move today.
I like that. I
Can't argue with you.
You can. Another win for Sharon Moore. So we'll leave Ann Arbor alone as well as the 2024 Olympics. And we'll get to the Lions of 2024. Maz, yesterday was a scare on the chat.
Oh, man.
It was a scare for Lions fans. Jahmyr Gibbs, Ennis Rakestraw. Maz, take us through it, man. I thought it may have been worse.
Oh, my God. First, we think Jahmyr Gibbs has a knee injury.
Torn ACL.
Then I saw the guy, and I said, I didn't even say anything. I didn't do anything on social media. I looked at the guy. I saw he had 1,000 followers, and I knew he was a fake. So then I'm praying that it was not a bad knee injury. It turned out to be a hamstring injury. The real guys like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport and all those guys reported that it is a hamstring. Hamstring's nothing to fool around with. I'm sure Dr. Pierce was on today. Was Dr. Pierce on with the boys today?
No, he was not today.
He wasn't on today? We'll have him on Thursday. We're going to ask him.
Perfect time to talk to him.
And we don't know how bad this hamstring injury is, but Bray, a hamstring injury for a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs it's a big injury.
Yeah, hamstring and groin injuries are injuries that confuse fans. And a lot of times you'll see fans say stuff like, man, he only has a hamstring or he only has a groin because you can't really see it. You don't really know. And if you've never had one, then my guys, you don't know what it's about. And
tough.
Also, you'll see sometimes other players have hamstring situations or strains or groins and still play. Offensive linemen, quarterbacks, guys that aren't stretching the field, guys that aren't in and out of breaks, guys that aren't really using explosiveness, so they can do that. Wide receivers, running backs, defensive backs, some linebackers that play at that speed, Fred Warner types, those hamstrings are very important, man. Once you pull one, now the difference is you strain a hamstring, you might be down a couple days, maybe a week, you're taking care. You pull a hamstring, you can be down a couple weeks to a month. Now, if you tear a hamstring off the bone, then season's over.
Yes, sir.
That is a 4-month heal process, but then once you come back, you have to take the process so light. So good news there, it's not torn off the bone. They just got to monitor it. And I think the Lions have been very good about that, monitoring injuries and getting guys back. We saw that last year, whether it was Amon-Ra St. Brown after 1 week, whether it was David Montgomery, whether it was Frank Ragnow, and they made it happen for him in and out the whole season. So I think the Lions are going to be good there. It is a sigh of relief, though. But he's not the only one that's going down. It just seems like it's that time in training camp for the Detroit Lions, as Pete put up there. Ennis Rakestraw and Terrion Arnold, two of your new secondary members, KG, they go down as well. Is it time for panic in terms of physicality and practice and maybe taking it easy, or is this just a part of the goal? I mean, it's just a part of practice.
I think it's just a part of the game, man. And unfortunately, it happened to your two rookie corners who you really need for them to get as many reps as they can before the season starts. I think if they shut them down now, I wouldn't necessarily be mad at that. You want to make sure that they do make it to the regular season. But, I mean, it's the preseason. These things happen. It's just unfortunate that the injury bug just keeps continually hitting the Lions over this last week or so.
Yeah,
it's all over. It's like an epidemic in the NFL. And we'll get into the injuries later. But I see a lot of guys getting hurt. And I know it happens all the time. But you're seeing big names starting to get hurt. And I don't know what it is. Is it just bad luck? Is it bad turf? You blame everything. But I just want to put bubble wrap on this entire team because I'm scared out of my wits because the only thing that's going to stop them this year is the injuries. That's it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't put the bubble wrap on them as, but it is a thing. It seems like now we have – I was going to say something. I was going to say it seems like because we have more outlets, because you have more news sites, because people have more streaming and ways to get the information out. Back in the day, you kind of only heard about your team. But now that there's so many ways, but I don't know if it's been like this in the last 5 years. Like you're seeing major injuries throughout the whole 32. It's been an epidemic, man, and that's going to be a question that I don't know if we ever get answered, really.
Well, and to Maz's point, this year it just seems like it's all the important names, and especially here in Detroit, we're worried about our secondary. You got Rakestraw and Arnold that had 33 coverage snaps between the two of them and gave up 0 catches for 0 yards. Now, at the same point, we lost C.D. Deuce last year. I don't know why we re-signed Emmanuel Mosley again so he could be hurt again, but this is something that we have dealt with at a lesser extent to guys that weren't as crucial to our lineup. But at the same point, everybody's eyes in Detroit are on this team. This is the most anticipated season in Detroit sports history. So there's going to be a little extra attention, a little extra worry for all of these things. But I do think that we've dodged a bullet with all of these injuries so far. I think that for the most part, unless we suffer another one over these next couple of weeks, I think everybody will be playing by week 1 or 2.
We talked about they have to sign a quarterback. Remember, they go out and get a quarterback because Hendon Hooker's down this week with the concussion. They can't put him in. So you need someone to back up Nate Sudfeld. And they wind up getting Jake Fromm, former Georgia Bulldog. He's been on a few teams. I think he was on Buffalo last. He's a backup. That's for sure. He was good in college, but he hasn't turned out to be the pro I thought he was going to be. And well, a lot of teams didn't think he was going to be a good pro either. I think he was like an undrafted free agent or signed really late. Besides that, but that's what they have. That's your backup quarterback now is Jake Fromm.
Yeah, Lions really caring nothing about the backup quarterback position. They've shown you that over the past 4 or 5 years. They're hoping maybe Hendon Hooker becomes that, but they trust in Jared Goff, which leads me to my next question. Isn't it crazy that we go from a team that depth chart at the DB position last year, defensive line last year, not necessarily sure about a wide receiver thin too. Now you have a training camp a year removed where you're getting injuries or you're getting little small nicks and bruises, but you're not feeling any type of way because one, you know those guys will be back. And then the depth chart is good. There's only one player, if he got hurt, that we would cancel Christmas for, and we don't even need to say his name out loud. Some notable roster moves were made as well, Tom Mazaway.
Yep. Well, they let Antoine Green go. Remember they drafted him late last year, had a couple of decent plays. He got hurt in the Giants game, and they wound up waiving him and a couple of other injured players as well. But Dan Campbell got to speak about the wide receivers, and just what Braylon was saying, the wide receiver depth of the Lions.
Your confidence level in your wide receiver depth right now?
Yeah, it's still the same as where it's at. We're waiting for somebody to step forward. We're waiting for any one of those guys to step forward. DPJ, I felt like has been since the game much better. Man, he's playing faster, and I notice it. We all notice it, so that's encouraging. But Fountain and Traquan and Caden Davis, like we're dying for somebody to step up and say, hey, man, I'm the guy. I'm the guy you can depend on. I'll be the same consistent player every day. Find a way to make the plays that come my way.
They're waiting for somebody. And what he said about Donovan Peoples-Jones, hey, he's doing good since the game. So he did not have a good game against the Giants. I don't think he had one target, maybe 2 targets.
He had a couple targets. I think
he had a catch for for 26
yards.
yards.
He had a chance to get a touchdown in the red zone. I think he dropped it or just couldn't make a play on it.
So it's kind of what Dan Campbell just said in those words. And the names he has said, Traquan and Fountain, and there was another name he threw out there. I don't know if any of those guys are going to step up and make this team. Maybe your other receiver that you're looking for is not on your roster right now.
Now they said that they were waiting for somebody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all I heard is they're waiting for this guy right here. Let's go, man. You run that 3 wide out spot for them all day long, man. Look at you.
The only thing I got coming for them is Madden 25. But,
I hear you.
Need my back, my shoulders. See, this is called an aesthetic. You take a look, okay, you look like he still can play, but when you break it down, it's broken down.
You're not trying to take any hits?
Nah. I'm cool on that.
All right.
But I think Dan Campbell believes in the guys that are going to step up for this team, and I believe the way in which their offense works, they're a team that doesn't necessarily fully rely on a full wide receiver staff. Like you had Jamison Williams, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Khalif Raymond. Then from there, you're using Jahmyr Gibbs. We know he has a hamstring, but you're using him a lot out of the backfield. You're using Sam Laporta as a tight end. Brock Wright has plays. So they're a type of offense under Ben Johnson, Maz, where they're not necessarily receiver-heavy based.
Right.
So they can move around it if they don't have guys that eventually step up.
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs is a wide receiver
100%.
/ running back. And our guy, Simone Vaki.
Yeah.
Simone Vaki might be the guy. He might be able to show and let
That's Anson's guy.
and let
That's right.
them rest Jahmyr Gibbs until he's 1,000,000% ready to play on this game. And I would not rush that guy back, not one iota. And I hope a guy like Vaki steps up. This gives Craig Reynolds, come on, Craig. It gives him a chance to get back in the game. They got other guys. They got Zonovan Knight, who I like from the Jets. They got backs. So let's take it easy right now with Jahmyr. Take the next 2-3 weeks. Take the next 3 weeks off completely. Just let him work on his own, heal up. We really don't even know the extent of that hamstring injury yet. They don't say anything, and they haven't talked yet today. When we find out, we'll let you know. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about the defense.
Yeah, we'll talk about the break. Before we go to the break, though, Maz, I'll make this quick. Do they just need to do away with preseason altogether and start the season
Well,
earlier?
he got hurt in practice, right?
True, 100%. But I'm just thinking about JJ McCarthy. I'm thinking about other players that were hurt, that are injured. I'm thinking about a couple years now that we've seen a lot of major players getting injured in the preseason, these first 3 games, which now the NFL has. Is it almost time? Because it's a 50-50 battle with coaches. Are they going to play their players? They're not. 50% of them are. 50% of them aren't.
I think it's 80-20 against.
So what do we do? One preseason game and get this baby going?
I know, but the preseason is for the guys that try to make this team, the undrafted free agents or the late round picks. That's their time. But if players are getting hurt in practice, I don't think it matters if there's a game or not. I really don't.
Well, we haven't really seen catastrophic injuries. We've seen a lot of nicks and dings and stuff. Do you want to see that in week 1 and week 2 where you miss 3 or 4 weeks because you've got a little bit of a hammy? You obviously get your opportunity to see who you have and who's going to make the team. But you give these guys an opportunity after a whole offseason to get that feeling for getting hit again, to get over some bumps and bruises. I think that getting away with the preseason entirely, maybe 1 or 2 games, I think you have to have some games to get the guys acclimated to that contact, to let them overcome some of these surface injuries. Because if this happens in week 1 with Jahmyr, we might not see him for a month. Now, as it is,
cost you 3 games.
Yeah, I don't think that maybe we don't see him week 1. I think we probably do, but at the worst, we're going to see him in 3 weeks.
If you remember last year, they didn't use him basically for the first 3-4 games
That's right.
anyway, just in spot duty, and they did well. So if they want to do that again, and we can win, and beat the Rams and beat the Bucks, and get ready and go to Arizona and beat the Cardinals, I'm all for it. I'm all for chilling out and just letting it happen. But no one would know more about preseason than you, Bray. I do think you do need a couple of games. I do.
I agree, and I firmly believe and I stand on it. You got to have a couple of games to get guys ready because it's not your first team that you really care about or that you're worried about. It's the second team. It's the third team. It's guys in year 1, guys in year 2, guys in year 3. Like Matt said, it is your depth guys. Look, we'll take a break. Great first segment out of you guys. We'll get a commercial break from Les Stanford, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this defense because so much is made of the offense.
Yep.
Who the heck is the Lions defense, Anson?
Hey, what happens, we know when you run a great business for over 50 years, you expand and you offer more products to more people, and that is exactly what Les Stanford has done by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They got the same great service that customers have come to know and trust from these guys. It is on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn as well today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Let's drive. And let's drive over to the Ally Challenge, which is back August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills. I'm getting excited. Found out that I'm playing in the August 22nd outing, and then I will be there on the 24th to cheer you on. It is going to be fun. Leave the golf to the pros, and don't miss the party on the 17th. $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. Got to get your tickets. I'm telling you, you got to get your tickets. And actually yesterday, Played in the Randy Wise Automotive Event at the Big House at U of M's golf course. Is a great event. Allied Challenge and Randy Wise, they know what they're doing. Get your tickets at alliedchallenge.com.
Hey, I wonder if Lola could come and join you. One of your favorite pets.
Little food
from
for Lola.
Premier Pet Supply. That's right, hands down. Michigan's best pet store, family-owned and operated for over 30 years, 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food. They never run out, folks. At the lowest prices available, they got you covered. Nutritionists on call for any questions about your beloved pet. Give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
The Allied Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at alliedchallenge.com today.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit SwissINS.com. Braylon Edwards.
With fitness that fits into your budget, Planet Fitness is the move for you. Because your fitness is essential with over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. They are the gym brand in metropolitan Detroit. So why shouldn't you shine up for the purple and gold? And I'm not talking about Omega Psi Phi. Squeaky clean gyms is what they feature. Total Body Fitness is what they do as well. And any membership, little hint, comes with a trainer. All you got to do is ask. Planet Fitness is where you should be. Real quick, you know about the Q dogs. You know what I'm saying? I can't fully put
Q and Miles, right?
I can't fully put it as disrespectful to the sex, but I got a couple friends.
Too, right?
He is. Anthony Spice Adams. Everybody knows Spice.
Shout out. Were you a frat boy?
I don't like that term. I pledged in a fraternity.
You were.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Phi Beta Sigma, Blue Phi.
Honorary ATO at Michigan State.
Okay.
Honorary.
So I know I said I was done. You know, I'll be done. I'll say that for later on in the show. We start talking about Lions. We talked about the defense. That's where we should keep our focus. Linebacker has been a position for the Detroit Lions over the last year. We haven't really seen a true form linebacker in our minds. Anzalone has taken off. Seemed like he hit it in the race space.
He's been terrific.
He's been terrific. But until then, DeAndre Levy is probably the last time you can say you had a middle linebacker.
Shout out
Levy. And then we know what happened.
54.
I ran into DeAndre Levy, man, at Calvin's camp. And
was he riding outside of an airplane?
He's he's in his yoga phase. You know, he said he wanted to leave and start doing extreme sports and yoga and things of that nature. Maz, I thought about you because Maz was so pissed when he left. He said he just up and left.
I loved Levy.
But you know what? I look at his peace of mind. Maz, like, pause. Like the man was glowing. Like he was talking about yoga. He was like, his mind was sharp.
Love that.
So he left for a reason.
He got
and just
out
kind
good.
of talking to him.
High
I got a lot of love
vibrations.
for him, a lot of respect.
Yeah.
But back to the matter at hand. Detroit hasn't had a linebacker they can trust since maybe him, Stephen Tulloch, before he decided to dance after celebrating that Aaron Rodgers sack. Well, it seems like the linebacker corps might be moving in the right direction. And here's Dan Campbell talking about the linebackers.
To what you've seen with the kickoff stuff.
Yeah, well, I would say Malcolm is improving, but he's not going to be ready. Malik, there is a chance Malik's back in a couple of days, so that's good. That's positive, but yet it's not a certainty. Duran got hurt yesterday. You know, he got a little tweak, so that's why the need for the linebacker position to come in. We need all the help we can get there. You know, it felt like last year it was the running back position. This year it's the linebackers. Have got a little bit of the bug. So that's why we just need to know we've got enough to continue to get work and see everybody else. But we're going to get a look at these guys that we bring in too. We tell them all the same thing. You know, you're not just a body. I mean, as fast as you can pick it up and then show us you can do something. I mean, our eyes are open.
All right, I got to point out the obvious right here. He's having a presser about a team with a lot of injuries wearing an anti-fragile T-shirt.
Yeah. It's our coach, man.
Probably not the shirt to wear for that presser.
I think he meant by psyche, anti-fragile.
Okay.
We won't be broken.
Mentality.
I'll take it. I'll buy that.
You know Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, they don't make mistakes at the podium.
Right.
True.
Come on
All right.
That's my coach, man.
I will not call anybody flawless, but they are pretty damn good and pretty close.
And they can sell merchandise.
They can
no
water
doubt.
to a well.
Facts.
Still waiting for that Maz Beyond Silverdome shirt.
There you go.
Well, Tina Turner, action, rest in peace to her. He's talking about the injuries, but it leaves you to get to talking about the stars. Derek Barnes, we know, has gotten into the starting role this year. Alex Anzalone, we've seen what he's done over the past 3 years, becoming that leader, becoming that guy that can trust, becoming the vocal guy on that team. And he plays, in the words of Jim Harbaugh, he plays with tenacity known to no man, or something. Yeah, something how he says it. And enthusiasm. Yeah. There it is, playing with enthusiasm known to no man. But just like you have that what if guy on offense, and we know it's Jamison Williams, and we've heard the rumblings, and we talk about what he could do. But now that you have a defensive line, it seems, now that you have DJ Reader, now that you have a year 3, Aiden Hutchinson, it seems like Jack Campbell.
There you go.
May be that.
It's your guy.
You know what? Look, at the end of the day, you have to be very fair, or I have to be very fair. Didn't like the pick. 6'5", 265 pound linebacker.
Man.
I did, and I stand by it.
It's a walkout.
I stand by it. You see, right now, I walked out. I stand by it. Just not the type of linebacker drafted anymore. But we'll see because of the defensive line. Maz, are you optimistic that Jack Campbell could be that guy for the Detroit Lions?
I do. I believe.
What's the defensive line?
I believe that he just exudes football. That's why they drafted him. Yeah. That's why they love him. He's like a Spielman type guy. I believe he is going to become a Chris Spielman type guy, although he's a different size than Chris Spielman.
I agree.
But I believe he's got those instincts that they want, and he loves football, and he loves the city of Detroit now. Iowa corn-fed boy, and here he is, man. I have to believe in him because they really haven't missed on much, guys. So why the heck not believe in what they saw in this guy? And we were all doubting Jamison Williams. I know I was number one on that. And this is his year. This is his party year, man. The coming out party for Jamison Williams, and I think it's the same party for Jack Campbell.
It's funny. Playing against those Iowa, quick diversion story. We hated playing against Iowa. Like you said, corn-fed. Like people laugh at the corn. They think, man, cornbread, corn-fed. No, that's a real deal. I still, man.
That strength.
We played against Matt Roth, who was the same year as me. He played at defensive end. Played Chad Greenway. Played for the Vikings for years.
I remember him.
Man, you get hit by those guys on the field. It's just pause. It's damn like it. Anyway, it's taking me back. Man, my head's already starting to hurt again. But those Iowa guys, we watched their tractor trailer video of what they were doing in the offseason when Robert Gallagher got drafted 2nd overall. Their workouts, they're not for me. They're not for me, and I'm glad I didn't.
Hey, he's got to step up, right?
Yeah.
They need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the Woodyard on Woodward yesterday, Eric Woodyard. And we asked him about Jack Campbell. And this is the one position group that the Lions did not address this offseason. It wasn't a strength last year. It wasn't a weakness last year. You would think that they get better just by having a better secondary behind them and a more penetrating front four ahead of them. But this is the guy, as you and I have mentioned a few different times, and you brought it up today, Jamison Williams on the offensive side and Jack Campbell on the defensive side. If this guy takes on that role and can free Anzalone up from some of his responsibilities, we have gotten better at every single position group, and we didn't even have to add anybody to the linebacking core.
Well, you said Laporta, and I'm glad you made that mistake because that's the guy that could help Jack Campbell the most. Last time I checked, weren't they college roommates?
They were.
Weren't they best friends in college? Aren't they best friends now? Yeah. And you saw what Sam Laporta was able to do with the system in place. In fairness to Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta walked into a system that Ben Johnson had been developing for some time, so he walked in right on time. I guarantee you Sam Laporta is like, nah, Jack, it's go time. So having a guy like that, it's the same thing as the guys from Alabama.
Absolutely. You don't think they draft that for a reason?
Yeah. So
of course they do. It's kumbaya, man.
Yeah, it is, and I think you're going to see some
culture.
You're going to see some culture with that, man. Take us through this Chiefs game, Dan Campbell.
Coming up on Saturday. He's not going to be playing the starters, but we'll let Dan Campbell tell us.
Playing starters at all in case he is that. I'm thinking about playing some of these guys. I'm back and forth a little bit right now, so we'll see. We're a little bit open to everything. I know right now the priority for me for these guys, particularly for the guys, the core of this team will be, these next 3 practices. Like that to me is where it all starts. And depending on the type of work we get, the quality work, the amount of reps, that'll tell me what we need or don't need going into Kansas City.
Chiefs on Saturday. Looking forward to that game.
Patrick Mahomes is playing.
Yeah, he'll play a little bit. The Chiefs played him in the first game. Yeah. The first game that the Lions played against the Giants, you really didn't see much of anybody. And it'll be nice to see some of these guys out there. And he said he's going to probably take the reins off and let some of these guys get some work. You gotta do it. And the Chiefs want to do it too. And I know it's preseason, but I know they'd like to stick the Lions for what they did to them last year on opening night too. So there's some of that. Don't you believe that, Bray?
Look, 100%.
I know it's preseason and all,
but it's still that franchise. Yeah. It's still that team that you have whatever it is with. You have some type of deal with. You're gonna do that. When I was playing for the Browns, this just goes back to why I believe preseason is important. And you got to get some guys out there. After I was playing against the Browns, my 3rd year, Pro Bowl year. So coming into year 4, we go from not winning. We go from no Pro Bowlers my whole time there to year 4. The last year we had 6 Pro Bowlers. We had 10 wins. This year they have granted us 5 primetime games. So we're feeling ourselves, and we think, all right, it's our turn. It's our time. Yeah. Well, we didn't play in the preseason that year. Like Romeo Cornell didn't make guys play in the preseason that year. Only a couple guys made it.
Braylon.
You already know. And as only a couple guys played, you know what, Maz? I played in one series. I caught a touchdown. I thought my it didn't stink.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't get in any rhythm in the beginning of the season. It took us a second to really get tired. It took us a second to understand the emotion, anxiety. It's just a typical sport. You get into the rhythm. Like how are you going to catch that second win? How long to work out in the preseason, not preseason, but in the pregame warm-ups and things of that nature. And it's getting that going against somebody other than your team. We didn't do any of that, and it took us a long time to get started. Hell, we never got started. We never got going. And we finished bad. I think we finished 4-12. And I'm not blaming on the start, but you got to start in a certain space, and not playing those guys in preseason, not being able to get yourself into any type of rhythm a lot of times, it affects you more than you know.
And the Lions aren't going up against I'm trying to think of a term. They're not going up against Carolina week 1.
They're playing the Super Bowl champs.
Well, I thought that they were. I'm saying week 1 we got LA.
Okay,
we got the Rams.
I thought you were talking about the Chiefs game.
Well, I'm skipping past that because the Chiefs game is interesting all season, off season long. Twitter's been telling Chiefs fan that they wouldn't have beat the Lions. So there'll be a little bit of extra incentive for them to show out in that game, especially after losing week 1 last year. But the rhythm that Bray spoke to is going to be so important for this team week 1 of the season because they've got a pissed off Rams team led by a really upset Matt Stafford. So this is not a game that we can come in with injuries or out of rhythm, out of sync. I mean, Pete, I know that that's a game that you're a little worried about. What do you think about the rhythm we need to bring into that?
Worried about the Rams?
Yeah, aren't you?
Oh, heck no.
Not at all, eh?
No, I'm not worried about it, but I agree with it that they're going to come in looking for revenge, absolutely. But I don't think that you should be worried about the Rams. Why are you worried about the Rams?
Ooh. Well, because if we lose that game, which is a completely winnable game that we should be winning at home, but it's also a losable game. This is a playoff team. This is a game that played us to the very last minute. So losing that game to start this season, and Lion fan might have a meltdown.
But there's a difference between week 1 of this season and then, the first week of the playoffs last season. And these guys are not going to be – I don't think that Puka Nacua is going to go off for 245 yards in this game on week 1. I'm just saying that's why I'm not – I'd be more worried about the Rams in week 8. This is week 1. I'm not worried about starting 0-1, 0-2. What are we doing here, guys? I thought we have some sort of Super Bowl team that we're all worried about, that we have this depth and all these.
I believe we're going to win that game.
What are we talking about here?
We're going to win that game.
What are we doing?
But we have to have that rhythm. And I think that, to your point, Bray, it's important that we get these guys healthy and that we have an opportunity to establish that rhythm through some preseason games.
Yeah, I think two things can be true. I think both of you guys are right. One, nobody's sweating starting off on one because of what this team is. Well, Tom Mazaway excluded. Because of what this team is, but at the same time, you get guys playing a little bit, you get a little bit of that rhythm. You don't have to start off so sloppy. There's a difference between, getting in a tight match and a great battle with a team versus getting blown out because you're sloppy, you're off rhythm. So, but I like Pete. Pete came through for a squad. He said, we ain't care. We don't care about that.
Scared. Super Bowl squad.
What if they start 0-6?
They ain't going to start. Oh, come on now. Now you stop with that stuff.
I'm just joking.
Not even saying it.
I am just joking.
You keep quiet.
One of the biggest positions sticking with the defense is that defensive line, and they made some strides on the defensive line. There's a lot of players. I mean, if I went around the room, I guarantee you we're all probably excited to see a different player. Who are you most excited to see on the defensive line right now?
Well, it's DJ, but at the same point, we might not even see him till week 4 or 6 at this point.
I just
Levi.
Okay,
Levi's the guy that I've been hearing.
One right there.
Yeah,
okay.
I've been hearing all about him in the offseason, OTAs to training camp. This is a guy that a lot of people have felt that this team reached for.
Okay.
But you look at Iffy, you look at some of these guys that they've been able to develop over the years.
Yeah.
And it looks like Levi is coming into his own right now. So he's the guy that I'm excited to see.
KG, defensive line, you are on the clock.
Yeah, it's definitely DJ, but if I had to pick a second, Aleem McNeil, man. I want to see the type of jump he can make. He is a better pass rusher than people give him credit for in the interior defensive line. And having somebody like DJ Reader next to him with a Hutch coming off the edge, hopefully Marcus Davenport, if he can stay healthy, Aleem's going to eat this year, man. I fully believe he would have had more sacks last year before the injury, but a whole training camp, him healthy, with DJ Reader on that line, it's going to be nasty.
Top 100 player.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
We definitely know it's DJ Reader, so, you guys picking the secondary is definitely what I wanted. What was I about to say? But Aleem, great pull. Mm-hmm. Great pull with Aleem McNeil because there is a lot there, and I think a lot of people are kind of putting him on the back burner and forgetting about him because so much is made of DJ Reader.
Possible Pro Bowl year?
I definitely like to pick Aleem McNeil. Tom Mazaway, it's on you.
Hey, man, how about a new guy named Kyle Pecco?
There we go.
Coming over from the Tennessee Titans.
There we go.
All right. Following his defensive line coach.
There we go.
Tyrone Williams right over to here. Terrence Williams, and here's Kyle Pecco today.
You guys seem like you're playing a little bit faster as a defensive unit. Does it feel like you guys are coming together a little bit better?
For sure. I think, the camaraderie's there. I think we all mesh pretty well, each group. But, all these guys are great. Easy to get along with, so easy to trust them on and off the field.
What's it been like playing with Hutch?
Hutch is great, man. He's he's a different kind of a breed, and he's, another guy that's top of his position group. And, I'm, like I said, lucky to be out there with these guys.
Terrell Williams, baby. I'm telling you, this guy is going to make a major difference with this Lions defensive line. And who knows what he could do with the running backs.
I'm excited for this young man. I think he's cousin to another Pecco I know of Michigan State.
D'Amico Pecco?
And it's funny, I saw D'Amico earlier this year. I saw him at the draft, got a chance to talk to him. He's a Spartan guy, but always had a lot of love for him with his years with the Bengals when I was with the Browns. But just a motor.
Yeah.
You talk about a motor and that can play and play well within the scheme.
It's in the blood.
It is in the blood. And, that's not a cliche when you're talking about the Polynesian Americans. Like, it's in their blood.
It's in their blood and their culture.
100%. Like, failure's not an option.
Can I throw in the dark horse defensive lineman?
Oh, hold on. You know what? Hold on. Let me do this. Pete, I didn't ask your defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be Hutch, man. Step up year.
you're going
I mean, no. This is you want to be MVP, then prove it. You want to go to the Super Bowl, then prove it. Then come off the line and start flattening some quarterbacks like you're a 18-wheel semi-Mack truck and start flattening people. I want to see Hutch and some just drooling black, eye black, just.
Okay.
Running people over and become the MVP that you're supposed to be. This is the year to make that step.
Pete!
Yeah, man.
Pete! I'm
Stoke not
today,
scared,
man.
baby.
On fire today.
Let me talk to you.
I'm excited today, Pete.
He's hanging out with Anson too much.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
They got a little back and forth going. Aiden Hutchinson is a darn good one. But who was your dark horse?
I love the Aiden Hutchinson. I think we all gloss over him.
He's absolutely right.
He's that mainstay.
I'm tired of hearing about, to your point, Pete, I'm tired of hearing about the hurries.
Right.
Those are, to me, those are excuses.
Yeah.
You're now in the space.
Those are missed sacks.
Those are missed sacks. You're
Yeah.
now in the space. And this is no disrespect to Aiden Hutchinson. He's my Michigan brother and what he's done so far.
Talk to him.
But at the end of the day, when you want to be mentioned with the Watts, when you want to be mentioned with those names, insert name here. When
Myles
you want to
Garrett.
be the Garretts of the world.
Right.
The Bosas.
That's the other family I was looking for. I was like, why is another family out there? But when you want to be mentioned with these guys, then you got to be doing what those guys do. And 2 and 3s, they're getting through them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think everybody's kind of assuming this great year from Aiden, and that's why we went through the whole room without him coming up until Pete. But Mekhi Wingo, this is my dark horse. Okay,
LSU,
right.
6th-round pick shouldn't have been that low.
No, he should not have been. This is a dynamic player that Lions fans, you guys are going to love this kid. And I don't know how much we see him this first year, but I think this guy's right in there with Aleem, with Levi, with Iffy, that by year 2, year 3, the league's going to be on notice. Mekhi Wingo.
I hope you're right, man. That would be great. Another 6th-round find?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
I'll take it all day. I want to see guys like James Houston step up.
Yeah.
I want to see who's our guy from Purdue, our linebacker from Purdue?
Derek Barnes.
Derek Barnes. I want to see Derek Barnes, and he made that great play last year. I want to see him really take his game up because we loved him. Remember we talked to him a couple of years ago?
We
DB?
did.
We talked
to him after he had a good game. As a matter of fact, we talked to them after their second win that year.
Yeah.
Their second win that year, we talked to him, and then they played the Broncos, and they lost. But energy, he was a ball of energy. He was really insightful in what he wanted to do, but here he is.
There's a lot of guys here that you should be knocking on the door. Josh Pascal, whatever you want to call him. I want to see what he's got, finally. I want to see the Josh Pascal that they drafted. What, the second round?
Second round.
Okay.
Second round, yeah.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Otherwise, that's considered a miss. Unless we see him really step up.
Yeah.
This is his time, man. Year 3. Let's go.
You speak of the front office. Former Lion had something to say about
Barry
the front
Sanders
office.
is
Good
back.
old Barry Sanders, 2-0.
How about him, baby? He's looking good, too.
As I mentioned, how just solid the offense is. Even, you look at even the other side of the ball, the defense, the playmakers. I mean, it all starts with Coach Campbell, Brad Holmes, Rod Wood. I mean, they put it all together. They've pretty much hit on every choice that they've made. So that's what it takes. I mean, you look at teams that have been very successful, franchises that are successsul, and those guys up front, at some point they got to figure something out, which these guys have done. So to answer your question, yeah, great confidence.
You know what I love? I love the fact that when Barry wasn't around people, he was just playing golf, and he was working with his son. His son's plural, track and all that. It was off the scene. Barry picked up some weight. And we all had jokes about Barry. Barry wasn't Barry Sanders no more. He was Barry Colonel Sanders. He tearing that chicken up.
He eating good, man.
But now
Look how good he
he's
looked.
back with the Lions.
He had a health
at
scare.
Ford Field. He had a health scare.
On Father's Day weekend.
Barry looks good.
Yeah.
Barry looks good.
Very happy for him.
Very happy.
God
Barry,
bless him.
He deserves some peace.
Amen.
That's when you get older in life, you start realizing peace is something that you really need and you deserve.
I love him rocking the Lions polo shirt too. I mean, he's fully back in, just like Calvin Johnson. It's all coming up roses here for the Lions. This is the salad times, the salad years for the Detroit Lions. And like you said, Anson, it is the most sought after, and we cannot wait to unwrap this season and get this going, because nobody has looked forward to this season more than Detroit Lion fans. It's right there for us. Now we just got to pray it all stays together health-wise and they play ball like they did last year.
Is there an anticipated season in Detroit sports history that you guys could compare? The only ones that I could say would be the 89 Pistons and the 96 Red Wings? Was it?
97 Red Wings,
97
and they
Red
won.
Wings,
They were back to
New
back.
Jersey.
Yeah.
And don't forget the Tigers when they had that run, the 06 run.
Oh, yeah,
we all
06.
thought they were coming back and winning the World Series, but it never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened. But that 06 to 14, I was looking forward to every single season. Remember the T-shirts?
Mm-hmm.
We own the Central. So I would say this is the most exciting period in Detroit sports since the Tiger era.
Yeah. I don't think that there's ever been a season that's been more anticipated, obviously because of the drought that we have lived through as Lions fans. Obviously what we saw last year, 88 Pistons losing the finals. We know the bad boys are coming back, and that's a team that had never had a championship. I know how excited I was for that season. Not a huge hockey guy, but I got caught up in it.
97.
I was mad when we lost to New Jersey, Colorado,
95.
whoever it was.
Yeah.
We knew that this team was about to be a dynasty.
Yeah. What about 2005?
2005 was exciting as well.
But we had won the year before, though.
Yeah, and the Tigers have won
6 Eastern Conference Finals in a row.
Pistons, the 04, that was just out of nowhere.
Well, 04. That's why I said 05, coming off the championship.
05, we were hoping we'd repeat. It was kind of scary. I don't think that 90 or 05 or even 2006 measure up to what we're going through this offseason and preparation for the Lions.
Nothing compares to this Lions team, because we're a football town.
Yes,
say what you want.
Yes, sir.
We are a football town, period. A pro football town at that.
We get us all back on track, Time Asway. This is football, and you said it, KG. Football is king. Speaking of football, let's take a quick commercial break. Let's go around the NFL. Some injuries, some things have happened.
Boy.
We mentioned one of them. Ryan Ermanni, he's not going to like this one that we get to talking about. But first, let's get a message from KDK Law.
These guys have you back. We already know. If you're dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or any other family law situation, these are the guys you got to call, because Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham, they absolutely will have your back. 10 plus years of experience and that ever important 24/7 availability. Make sure you scan that QR code that you see on the screen right there, or give them a call at 248-971-0476, and make sure that you say Woodward Sports sent you, so that they'll take care of your filing fee for you. KDK Law, they will have your back.
And this black and yellow sign out in front of your house tells the bad guys and the rest of the NFC Central one thing.
Stay out.
Let Guard and Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. These people have been proven to care, and this technology has been proven to work, so call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supplies has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242. You also hit them up online at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
You saw what was behind Maz, and that's what's awesome. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an absolutely amazing haircut, and that's exactly what Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men is. Stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel absolutely amazing. You can walk in anytime, 7 days a week. In fact, you can come out down here to Birmingham and watch us do the show while you get your hair cut. Sit back in one of those awesome leather chairs, watch some sports, and again, let one of those talented ladies take care of your head. Walk in anytime.
Pause.
Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Your hair.
You gotta find another way to say that, because I can't let you do my boy Maz like that. Do you know what's behind Maz? Like, what?
He's right.
Where you going with this? Where you going with this, Anson?
He keeps his focus, though. He keeps his focus.
Anson, you know what? I gotta give you some credit, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second hour of the show. Anson Wells in for Ryan Ermanni, myself, Tom Mazaway, KG, Pete, the gang, all here. Other than that, I was watching a podcast interview with Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson's getting interviewed and he's talking. I don't care what people say about Richard Jefferson. I love Richard Jefferson.
No, he ain't bad.
I think he's funny. I think he does a great job of commentary. He's just goofy, and he also tells ways, but his story is like his own ways.
Yeah.
He was talking about the 2003 game, the Detroit Pistons versus the Nets. Everybody remembers Chauncey Billups hits the half-court shot. We go to overtime. We still lose, and the Nets go on to play the Lakers that year for what will be their third championship. The Lakers, that is. Richard Jefferson was talking about that, or 2 years before.
No, that was 2004. We lost that game. We went to New Jersey and won. Wasn't that 2004?
I thought it was 2003.
We lost the series with the half-court shot.
We did. You're right.
But anyway.
Whatever year it was.
He was talking about that shot. And he was just talking about how loud the Detroit Pistons fans were. Then he starts being specific, talking about how loud they were when Kerry Kittles was shooting free throws and they were missing free throws down the stretch. But he talked about the atmosphere. And he talked about that. This is 20 years later that he said that atmosphere played to them losing that, almost losing that game, having to go to overtime, because the game shouldn't have gone to overtime. The Nets should have shored that up in regulation. They didn't, won in overtime. But he's talking about you. Mm-hmm. He's talking about you, your section, the Detroit Heckler, as donned by Mark Cuban, I do believe. Who donned it?
Well, I already kind of had that name. It was Mark Cuban and Jerry Sloan.
Well, Paulie's a pretty good name.
Right.
That tapped me.
The moral of the story is fans like you are why teams have success. Like that noise, that atmosphere you created. I thought that was dope because you talk a lot about it, but to see somebody also share. This is 20 years later. Richard this wasn't 2 years later. So I commend you and the fans that are like you, man. Like teams need Anson Wells's.
My first game heckling, when I realized it, was Rick Carlisle's first year, and it was the very first game of the season. We were playing your New York Knicks, Maz. And Don Chaney was the head coach, and Kurt Thomas was shooting free throws. Now, what I used to love to do was wait right before.
He was a lousy shooter, by the way.
Oh, yeah. But he canned both free throws, and I was yelling, Kurt! Kurt! The whole time he shot both of them. As he's backpedaling, he turns right to me the whole way to the half court. What now, kid? What now, punk?
Off 2 free throws?
Outlet pass right over his outstretched hand to Chucky Atkins for a free 2. Timeout Don Chaney, and as they're coming out, Kurt, get your head in the game and out of the stands. Light bulb went off over my head, and I realized there's at least one guy on every team that I can get more concerned with me than anyone else. Now, the Nets and I had a real relationship. They hated me. Their head of security hated me, and I was adept at getting their attention and holding it. Kenyon Martin, often. Dick Jefferson, often. I actually told this story at Stick's wedding to the heavyweights, and then 3 days later, this podcast was released, and it was Easy that wrote in that on the Instagram thing. He's like, this was Anson. I actually did cross the line for one of the 2 times in my career during that game. I don't go into personal stuff, and I did cross the line with Jason Kidd, because I was so mad after Chauncey had made that shot that we still lost that game that I did cross the line. I'm not going to go into what I said.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But no, anytime that you could get them more concerned with me than the game, I won. And everybody in my section always said, Anson's worth 2 points a game.
Well, man, we won the championship, not directly, in fact, but because of it as well.
Still waiting on my ring.
They'll get it to you someday.
Chauncey, let's go.
Not to cut you off, update. This is just came from Ian Rappaport. The Steelers and 49ers have a deal on the potential trade, and Pitt is in a good place on the IU contract. Sources say if SF gives the nod, the deal is done. So
To the
Brandon
Steelers?
IU potentially.
I don't know why they would do it.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter why they did it, because it just made the road for the Lions that much easier.
No doubt.
And
It hurts
Steelers
my
that
picking
much
stock.
better.
We have a special guest, by the way, guys.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we have a special guest waiting on line, and you guys might be familiar with this gentleman because it is a special day. You know who that is?
Ryan Ermanni. Somebody.
This is the first
What's
all three
up,
of
fellas?
us.
You know,
This is the first time we've
I
all
know.
three
You know,
been
I'll
on.
tell you this much. So Bray, Anson is sitting there talking about how he crossed the line with Jason Kidd. I think he's sitting there crossing the line with me right now. I mean, he's got a Spartan helmet right in front of the microphone where I sit. Oh my gosh, how
It's itchy over there.
disrespectful.
Very itchy over there. Very itchy over
Look
there.
at him.
Help.
Look at him.
I need
and he's
help.
leaning into it. He's leaning into it.
All right. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
You, man, how you doing? Just I had a promo shoot today at Fox, and I had a couple of things going on, so I couldn't make it there by 2:00 today. So day off, kind of for me. So I'm just sitting out here watching you guys.
Oh man, we were actually just getting ready to talk about the bad news with JJ McCarthy with the meniscus tear, and you had some things to say about it in terms of you compared it to. I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, look, I mean, we still don't know the extent of the injury for JJ McCarthy. I mean, you know as well as anybody, Bray. I mean, once you go in there, that's when you really determine the severity of the injury. Is it going to be a couple of weeks? Is it going to be a couple of months? Is it going to be the full season? We just don't know yet. But I go back to anybody who is a Lions fan. Matthew Stafford missed essentially his 2 full seasons. His first 2 years, he essentially missed with injuries. I think one was a shoulder, and I forget what the other injury was. But then he played the next 12 years and didn't miss a game. So I don't think this is the end of the road for JJ McCarthy.
He had a good game
at
too.
all. I actually think this may even be a blessing in disguise for JJ McCarthy, because now, if you watch that game, Bray, on Saturday or whenever it was, I think it's real hard to keep that kid off the field. It just is. He's made every throw, and now you can just sit there, let the kid heal, let Sam Darnold play, take that year off. Maybe you can play at the end of the season or something like that. But I think this slows everything down for JJ McCarthy. And, I made the statement, I think he's going to be the best quarterback in this class. I stand by that. And even then, I said I think it would benefit JJ McCarthy to go to a team where he doesn't have to play right away.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why you see so many of these quarterbacks fail. I mean, just go back a couple of years ago when you had Mac Jones and Trey Lance and Zach Wilson and I forgot who else was in that class. But it was a disaster of a class. And all of those quarterbacks, sans Trey Lance,
Justin Fields,
were on the field. Yeah, Justin Fields. We're on the field so quick. These quarterbacks don't get a chance to breathe anymore. These quarterbacks don't get a chance to sit back and learn the game. It is a much different game in college than in the pros. And I think the ones that truly get a chance to take a step back, breathe for 5 minutes, and not feel that pressure of starting year one, game one, I think those quarterbacks have the best opportunity to succeed in the long term.
Don't forget, Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions in his first year.
Yeah, he did. 28 touchdowns.
Which may still be an
kept coming up. Yeah.
That's right. I think that's still an all-time record. So, can you imagine if a rookie quarterback throws 28 interceptions nowadays, not named Peyton Manning? I mean, you're ready to run that coach and general manager out of the league. You can't do that anymore. So, Tony Dungy had the latitude to do that in Indianapolis, and Peyton Manning's name was Peyton Manning's name, and I don't think anybody had any concerns about him. But if you're insert quarterback here, you can't throw 28 interceptions your first year.
Yeah, and after Saturday's game, the way he looked, I think that you would have had a fan-supported quarterback controversy there, regardless of how good Darnold looked. And this, like you said, this just gives him an opportunity to sit back, not get rushed into game one, even though I feel that he's ready for it. But he's going to get a chance to learn without the fans clamoring for him on the field.
Yeah, without question, Anson. And I think there is something to be said for quarterbacks especially. And Bray, you probably know more about this than anybody. But just the idea of a quarterback that has an opportunity to sit from the sidelines and see what it's like. You played with a number of guys that probably could have used some time off. So I don't think this is I think, look, it happened. You'd prefer it didn't happen, but it did. So use it as a positive. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and maybe this happened for JJ to slow everything down a little bit. He's in the right spot. He's got the right coach. He's in the right situation. He's got the right backup quarterback. This isn't a team that is absolutely desperate to get him on the field in week one. So let's see what happens moving forward here. Blessing in disguise.
A blessing in disguise, too. I like the part about sitting him down or kind of slowing him down. JJ McCarthy is a guy that we know can use his legs. He's really, really fast for a quarterback. But sometimes you don't have to take off and run. Sometimes you don't have to do the things. So that's a good reminder. Also, for Minnesota, they saw all they needed to see.
Yeah.
And I think that's the good thing if you're the Minnesota franchise. If you're the front office, you saw what you need to see out of him. You don't need him to play anymore. You kind of know what he's going to be. Ryan, speaking of injuries, Jahmyr Gibbs yesterday, that was almost a heart wrencher, as they say, because of what we thought it could be, the misinformation, how it was reported. But we found out it's a hamstring. Terrion Arnold gets hurt yesterday as well, and Ennis Rakestraw. Talk about where the Lions are now to where you're hearing injuries, nicks and nags, but you're not worried because of what Brad Holmes and that front office has been able to do, assuring depth at almost each position.
Good teams, great teams, survive injuries. And I think it's fool's gold to expect the Detroit Lions to not have some type of serious injury at some point along the year that is going to hamper them and minimize their chances to win the Super Bowl. Maz says it a lot. The healthiest teams in the end are usually the ones that make the playoffs, make the Super Bowl. The healthiest good teams, I should say, in the end are the ones that make it deep into the playoffs. And last year, the Lions were very fortunate. They did not sustain one season-long term injury to a significant player. Sure, David Montgomery was out for a game here and there. Sure, Amon-Ra was out for a game here and there, and a couple of offensive linemen here and there, but nothing long-standing, nothing significant. And I think to go back-to-back seasons like that, I think is very improbable. And I think it's even more improbable to expect any one of these starters outside of Jared Goff to play 17 games. I just think in today's football, for a player to play 17 games is almost unheard of. And I think, I don't want to say it's unheard of, that's an overstatement, but you get the idea that if a player plays 15 games these days, that almost feels like he played a full season because of the pounding, of the grind, of this long season. And I just think it's one of those things where you expect a player to miss a game here and there. You hope that season-long injury doesn't happen at any point, and thankfully none of these players are in that situation. But, you almost brace yourself for news like this. My heart didn't stop like it may have in the past because while Jahmyr Gibbs is a great player, and I cannot wait to see what he does this year, and while Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw are, we hope, going to be significant players in that defensive backfield to help improve this defense in 2024, I don't want to say I'm expecting to hear bad news, but that's life in the NFL.
Comes with the territory.
Every team will go through it. Yes.
No doubt. And they have the depth, right? They got Jamar Jefferson, who's been having a great camp. Zonovan Knight, the former Jet. They've got Sione Vake, the fourth-round pick from Utah. You've got players that they believe in. You got Craig Reynolds. Come on, Craig. You got Craig. You got all these guys.
Come on, Craig.
You built a hell of a team, and we don't know the severity of that hamstring injury yet either.
Yeah, we just still don't know. And again, that goes back to something I was telling Bray, Maz. This is the type of injury, and thankfully we'll have Dr. Pierce on at some point this week to kind of talk about that injury because this is one where you really don't know until you go in there surgically and you see if it's going to be a couple of weeks or if it's going to be a couple of months. We just don't know. You hope it's the first thing I said. Yeah. Hope it's option A, a couple of weeks, and maybe you miss the Rams game and maybe the Bucks, but
no.
Hopefully not much past that.
Oh, man. Hey, well, we got you on the horn, Ryan. I want you to enjoy the rest of the afternoon off. But Sharon Moore spoke earlier today, and he kind of said, well, he did say that Jim Harbaugh will not be trotted out as a captain, as a guest captain when the Michigan Wolverines start their season. What's your take on that? The guys have their ideas. That's the scoop. He's not going to be there.
I did not hear that.
Yep.
Smart move.
I did not hear that. and just without the context
Hold on,
hearing
Ryan.
the
Let me give you a little bit more so you understand more. Basically, when he spoke about it, he said that Jim Harbaugh will no longer be honorary captain because he said that he wants to be with the Chargers. He can't leave the Chargers. And then he said Jack and his mom will be, you hush up over there, Jack and his mom will be honorary captains in his stead. That's what Sharon Moore said. That's the
narrative.
Come on.
Oh, well, then that's a little bit cleaner of a contextual argument than what Maz gave me there, Braylon.
I only give you half. I'm the New York porch.
You're the New York porch?
Yes.
I love that, man. No, look, I thought it was a great idea to make him a captain for this opener. He's the head coach of the defending national champions, and outside of the bye week for LA, which I'm not sure what that is, this is probably the only game he would have the opportunity to be a captain anyway and physically be in Ann Arbor. So I was all on board with that. I never saw that as like a hey slap in the face to the NCAA. I always just saw that as a fast schedule. Again, I don't know what the Chargers' bye week is. I don't know what his responsibilities are as a head coach, but this is before the season starts. So I thought it was a good move. I don't know what the decision was for him or Michigan to kind of meet up and say, hey, this doesn't benefit our program. We're still waiting for the NCAA to deliver us some news on a couple of items, and we don't think it would be good. Yeah. Maybe they had that conversation. I just don't know.
Yeah, I hear what you're selling.
But I did think it was a great thing to make him I did believe it was a great thing to make him captain for week one.
I mean, I hear what you're selling,
for the 2 reasons I stated.
Ryan, are you really buying that? Because personally, this is them really putting it in everybody's face after they've come back 2 times to penalize this guy with the documentary in between. For me, I think that it is absolutely important. It's paramount for Sharon.
Whose face?
What's that?
Whose face is
everyone that did not win the national championship, especially every team that played against them that may feel defrauded or not. At the end of the day, I think
Anson, do you think? Let me ask you this question: when the NCAA president at the time, after they beat Washington, said Michigan won it fair and square, do you believe Michigan had an unfair advantage against Alabama, Ohio State, Penn State, Iowa, and Washington?
I just think it's really interesting that Michigan's mantra has gone from leaders and best to everyone cheats.
Well, I guess I don't understand what you're trying to say.
I think the most important thing at the end of it is that Sharon gets to take this team and put that chapter behind them. I think that it's really, really important for Michigan, their entire program.
Hold on one second. My dog is killing me. Hold on.
No, I got you, Ryan.
My dog is
Get that dog under control.
It's all good.
Quiet out loud.
It's not the important thing anyway. We've been talking about Michigan, NCAA, and Counter Stallions now for the better part of over a year.
Listen, Sharon Moore loves Jim Harbaugh. Sharon Moore loves the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't think Sharon Moore in any way, shape, or form told Jim Harbaugh he cannot come. In any way, shape, or form told him he can't come. Now, again, I don't know what the reason why Jim and the University of Michigan didn't make it work August 30th, but I guarantee it will work out at some point over the next 2 years.
Yeah, it'll be there over the next 2 years. At the end of the day, I don't think it makes sense.
Everybody look.
Right. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the only people that I don't want to say care. Like, this is one of the more overblown stories in the history of college football. I just, the sign stealing investigation. If you want to say that, Connor Stallions is on the sideline for Central Michigan against Michigan State. I mean, yeah, great.
With permission from a head coach that's part of Harbaugh's coaching tree. That is conspiracy to defraud your competition. The guy had Ray-Bans on.
That came out in the investigation?
Yeah, and now he just got fired. You got pretty much all of the coaching staff. The new coaching staff is gone, and you took most of your coaching staff to San Diego.
Well, let me
I
ask
think
you,
that
what
there
were-
is
what
so
were you
much
doing
more to
last
this
year
story.
before this Connor Stallions and Michigan and Jim Harbaugh and Sheroma? What were you doing with your life? Because it seems like you're so invested in what's
I was
going on
covering
with this
for
case.
Ryan and you when you guys
It was
couldn't get here.
So much in this
That's
case.
what I was doing.
That started this year. I'm talking about the year before last year.
Okay.
Anson,
What's the
What were you
question,
doing?
though?
Because you're so wrapped up in this case.
I'm not. We're just talking about this. I'm not wrapped up in it.
Yeah. I think you're a little wrapped up in it.
No, when it comes back. Okay, I got a question for both of you guys.
listen.
How many times has a penalty or a situation like this happened, and then they came back a second time to penalize somebody for the same thing that he was already penalized for? That's never happened.
I'm not on trial right here. Neither is Michigan anymore. The national champs. Like, you holding on to a trial that's over. The trial is over, bro.
This has nothing to do with one season.
The
This
trial
has
is
to
over.
do with 150 years of Michigan doing this kind of stuff.
150 years?
Yeah, I will bring you
There
a
you
whole
go.
thesis paper, baby.
There you go.
Jennison games. The
They weren't
only,
even playing
the
football
only
150
school
years
in
ago.
the entire Midwest that was giving student athlete scholarships through the Jennison
Hold on,
games.
Ryan. We'll
And
get you on,
Michigan's
Ryan.
caveat to allow Michigan State
Okay.
into the Big Ten was if they shut that down and stopped giving kids money to go to school.
Shut his mic
Michigan.
off. No. Can you let Ryan talk now? Are you done talking over him?
No, I mean, I guess I'm like, you can. One of the great things for me as a Michigan fan, look, I have learned to not care what other people think about what I think.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? I have learned to not care. If this came out at the end of the year and Michigan did not beat Penn State, Ohio State, Alabama, Washington, I think that track Michigan went on the last 5 weeks of the season specifically were as confirming a fact of who the best team was last year in college football than you could possibly have. That's why I was cheering almost openly in the room when the selection committee announced Alabama and not Florida State as the fourth team in the college football playoff, because I did not want there to be any question who the best team in college football was last year. If they were to beat Florida State instead of Alabama last year without Jordan Travis at quarterback, I think you could allow for the questions all you want. I think those questions and those chirps would have been much louder than they can be now. I think Michigan poured a bucket of Gatorade on any one of these claims from people who are just haters. That they were not national champions in '97. They're not national champions in 2024. 15-0 means nothing. I mean, people are going to say what they're going to say. I feel so comfortable in what we did last year, and I don't care what anybody says about it. They're the national champs. We hung the banner. My eyes experienced those wins. I experienced those wins. And the 5 best teams that we played were at the end of the year after this scandal that came out, and I don't think there's anything more that you could say about it.
Lexi doesn't like Anson either.
Oh, man, Lexi hates it.
Ryan,
It's
last
too
thing.
hot for Lexi out here.
We won't let you go, man. We want you to enjoy the rest of your day. Saturday, I will be in St. Clair Shores at Greek Fest. I'm just asking, will you be around to hang out with your boy? You coming time,
Hell
man?
yeah,
you guys better be there.
Greek Fest.
I'll be at Greek Fest
God,
this year.
Yeah, I gotta go to Greek Fest.
I'll be at 3 o'clock to 5
yeah,
o'clock, but
gotta go
also
to
I'm
Fest.
gonna just come hang out. So I'll be in St. Clair Shores and Grosse Pointe all hanging out.
Osaka Sunday.
All right, well, why don't you come over before that on Saturday, and then we'll go over to the Greek Fest together.
Sounds like a plan to me. Appreciate you as always.
right.
Get out here and go enjoy your day.
All right, Ryan. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I gotta
Ryan.
go get this dog. I gotta go get this.
I don't feel bad about what's coming later in
Appreciate
this show at
Ryan
all
Ermanni.
anymore.
Love that guy. What do you have coming later on in the show?
Oh, we shall see.
What do you have coming
We
later
shall
on in the
see.
show?
He got some. He
It's
think
all-
he got some.
It's always extra.
He's
It's always
got nothing. Don't worry about him.
He's got
it's
nothing.
just extra. All right.
That was good.
It was good. Appreciate Ryan.
I was
for
around the
jumping on.
NFL with Ryan Ermanni talking about JJ McCarthy.
If you stole signs
Yeah.
to get ahead in an exam at Michigan, what would have happened?
You said, what do you mean exam? People steal signs all the time. Baseball, football, is what they do. So what are you talking about? The people that
No penalty for cheating. I guess I'm just wondering what it takes for a team to actually get hurt unless they're Troy State.
Mike G wants me to change your diaper, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the chat's crying,
You
man.
need to be Birch.
Get back to Walmart, people. I'm sure you got some hoodies to buy.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Dude, I just laugh at you sometimes. You just
I love you too, buddy.
You just crack me up, man. We're gonna take a quick commercial break and hear from
Everybody cheats.
Wake up, Woodward.
Hey, man, the best morning show in the city on the network. I mean, you can't argue it, man. Anson gonna try and argue Michigan all day, but you can't argue this, man. Wake up Woodward every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10, live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and myself as we cover all of Detroit sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. And merch. Let's get some merch. We got to get an Anson Crybaby shirt in here on the merch store, man. Are you tired of the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear today at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Once again, that's woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda. A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan, known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken and tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Don't sleep on the fresh salads and side, but the biscuits, oh yeah, the biscuits are why you come. That honey on the biscuits is perfect. But the Nashville Hot is still around Soroki, so for a limited time only, go down there and get yourself a Nashville Hot pizza or the tenders, the fries, or the chicken tender sandwich. Come enjoy the delicious heat.
All right, guys, don't forget, we're going to have Dr. Jeff Pierce of the Michigan Sports and Spine join us. He joins Big D Energy every Tuesday, and he joins us on Thursday. We're going to talk to him about, obviously, all these injuries in the NFL, especially about Jahmyr Gibbs and his hamstring. Trust the guy that D-Mac and Braylon trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Welcome back. Ermanni Networks with Maz Anson Wells having himself a day over there talking about Michigan State. Michigan.
Shoot, 60% from the field, man.
It's not over yet, my friend. It's not over yet.
Still going over there, I see.
He's going to be excited because we're going to show the AP top 10 here.
He won't be that excited.
Michigan State, I think, is in it, aren't they?
Oh.
Aren't they in this?
Well,
at that.
Anyway.
the AP rankings, they're in there like 120 something.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure.
Not bad.
there you go.
Not bad. Well, there it is.
Y'all didn't make
Michigan,
it?
the national champions, coming in at number 9. Obviously, Georgia, probably the best team in the country. They are at number 1. But Michigan at number 9 with a couple teams above them that I don't believe should be above them.
Listen, before we get into that, I don't like the rhetoric of everybody right now, and Anson posed, I guarantee you is a part of that rhetoric. Oh, this is the worst following season ranking that a national championship team has had in 50 years, is it? Or however many years?
Record-setting amount of guys they put into the draft, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know?
Like, you can't have it
the
both
fact
ways.
that they're top 10 after putting 22-plus guys in the draft, that's take your hat off to them.
We can just start here because, I don't want to start with the players. Players leave and reload every year, so I want to start with that. I'll start with the coaches. When Bama won a national championship, did Nick Saban go anywhere? Did Paul Bear, Brian back in the day go anywhere? Insert national champ.
Good point.
Ask me, did their coach go anywhere?
Great point.
'Cause last time I checked, Urban Meyer didn't leave after 2014.
They did.
And we can keep playing this game. So when you say that,
Wonder why he left.
gotta add that caveat.
Wonder why he left.
He cheated. Urban Meyer cheated.
Yes!
Urban Meyer cheated.
Cheater!
We saw that on the whole documentary. So
Yeah, come on. We been knew he cheated.
But we know he cheated.
We know he
know he
cheated.
cheated. He was cheating at Utah.
Yeah, come on.
He was cheating at Utah, man. Alex Smith put me on the game.
He was cheating in the MAC.
He was cheating at Bowling Green, dude. Bowling Green, man. Come on.
But they mad
Dude,
at
we
us.
went from 3-9 to 9-3 in 1 year. How's that work?
Because he had Omar Jacobs.
Yeah, no, Josh Harris. No,
Right.
Josh Harris, baby.
Josh
Josh Harris, my
Omar
boy.
Jacobs.
Yeah,
You're right. Steve Sanders.
That's right, baby. And Charles Sharon. Yeah.
But
Steve Sanders from 90210?
No,
Would you get out of here?
Not that Steve Sanders. But yeah, so it's a caveat with that in the words of D-Mac. But getting back to that, Mass, who are the teams that you don't like above the University of Michigan?
Well, I think let's put it up there again.
Notre Dame is the team I guarantee.
I think Penn State is above them. I don't understand why Penn State is above Michigan. That's my number one gripe.
I hate James. Let me not say it that way. I don't hate anybody.
They got a cake schedule.
I
This year,
don't
though.
like
They do.
James Franklin as a coach.
And this
As
is
a
preseason.
recruiter, he does his thing. But they got some talent on that team. And if you're leery of what Michigan is, because the position that you worry about is the main position in all of football now.
Yeah.
Quarterback is the most valuable position still in high school now, college now, and darn sure in NFL. So if you're worried about Orgy or Tuttle, then I can understand how you would put Penn State ahead.
Tuttle.
I don't agree, but I can see it.
All right.
Because you don't know if you had that quarterback yet, and that goes
That's
a long
fine.
way.
This is preseason anyway.
Yeah,
And Anson, is Colorado in the top 10?
That's what I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys played their butts off first half of the season last year with Deion Sanders.
Boy, is he
there.
an angry man right now, by
Well,
the way.
the second half of the season, they got
media
kind of
made him
exposed, but he's had an opportunity to bring a lot of new people in. I'm excited to see what Colorado does. But one thing that Colorado has been doing is editing their practice videos.
Put
And
your headphones on for this, Bray.
yeah, so we got Kent Sports 24 on Instagram. He does a little thing on this. Darts only, started by Colorado. I think Arkansas had their own video, but let's go to that clip.
Look at this, Bray.
Bray, I play the end of this clip under protest.
The growing conspiracy that Colorado is editing
saw
their
this.
training camp
I
clips to
saw
look
it.
better on social media.
Leaving
So bad that
myself
other
for this
teams,
one.
including Arkansas, are now making fun of them. I'll roll the video. It's a completed pass for a touchdown. Let's see if you think it's real. Okay, here's the video. Shador back to pass. Watch the ball. Watch it again, full screen.
So now
I'm no master with editing video, but something looked a little fishy there, not gonna lie. And they just had to caption it, darts only. And now, like Arkansas, who doesn't even play Colorado this year, are posting their own darts only videos. Everyone's making fun of Colorado right now. Look how exaggerated Arkansas's parody video is.
Did you know that Michigan has one of these?
That's just,
They made one of their own?
It's not even close.
Have you seen it yet, Bray?
It's
I haven't
honestly
seen it,
hilarious.
but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I
No,
play
it's
it under
just they're
protest.
trolling
Hey,
them.
darts
But Michigan
only.
got
It's
involved
okay to be
too.
editing clips if you're making a mixtape. but
It's coming
Colorado,
up.
You're trying to do darts only.
I play it under
fall camp.
protest.
You can't be doing that.
I seen
This
this.
I'm
was
too.
sure
great.
other teams will make parody videos
It's
of
disrespectful,
this
bro.
coming up this next week. It's really funny.
That's how it ended.
Yeah, so but Michigan did theirs over the weekend. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. Why are you worrying about a team that's lesser than you? And then two, the guy that put that out, he doesn't clearly know college football.
Well, no, but they're clearly edited, and it was just Arkansas trolling them.
It's a wheel route. So the post route that you think is the touchdown is not what was caught. The wheel route caught the touchdown.
Yeah, but if you watch that, the ball's going to the corner of the end zone, and then the second catch is off to the left in the middle of the end zone.
In other words, it was just bad editing. So here's the Michigan version of that.
No, I don't. It didn't come over. That's bizarre. No, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
Get your S on.
Send it to me again, Anson. I'm not kidding.
I have it.
Why did it not come over?
Yeah, Colorado. If this is true, then Colorado can't seem to get out of their own way.
Right.
Yeah, they can't seem to get out of their own way. But I don't know. When you look at that top list, put that up again for me, though. Pete,
hang on. I didn't mean to disrespect Anson's segment. I apologize. I don't know where that video was.
It's so crazy. You look at this list, looking at what Michigan, their newfound schedule. They play 2, 3, 4, and 8 this season. 2, 3, 4, and 8. KG, that would have been a tough road, even if you were Jim Harbaugh on the sideline and the team that they had last year. They got to play Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Penn State. It's going to be a tough road to travel.
No, it's definitely a gauntlet, man. But can't nobody talk about our schedule this year. You know, that's been the narrative for a long time. But Michigan is going to go out there and prove it. Now, as far as the preseason ratings, I can't be mad at that because we do have an unknown at the quarterback position. Do I have faith in Alex Orji? Sure, especially with a guy like Sharon Moore, who is an offensive genius. He'll be able to utilize Orji's strengths even if he isn't the best thrower of the football. And you still have to look at the fact that they still have Donovan Edwards. They still have one of the best tight ends in the country, and Colston Loveland. They'll be able to do some things offensively. I look forward to what Jaden Davis can bring us, in the years coming. I feel like he will be the guy to take over. But as far as this year, man, Alex Orji, let's see it, man. We got to prove the doubters wrong.
Donovan Edwards is a Heisman candidate in my eyes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think preseason he should be considered.
Should have been MVP of the Rose Bowl.
Is there
not the Rose Bowl of the national championship?
National championship game.
Is there a running back that's going to take a lot of carries from him the way that he did from Blake Corum?
No, because I think when you're looking at the last 4 years for Michigan, I think you knew what Hassan Haskins and then Blake Corum was. Blake Corum to Donovan Edwards and you just knew what those guys were. So you were getting a lot of carries. Like Donovan's the guy. You hope these other guys can make some plays. Mullins is going to be more of a dominant guy. He's going to be more of a straight downhill guy, kind of like Haskins was. But the only problem is Donovan's going to be the starter. So he'll take some of that short yardage and goal type situations. So you take away the pounding off of Donovan Edwards. But I don't think you're talking about a guy taking substantial yardage away, Pauls, where you're not having 1,300 yards when the season's done. Maybe 1,500 from large 1,500 yards from scrimmage.
You think Donovan ends up being a better pro than Blake Corum?
Yeah, because I think this era is for Donovan
Yes, it
Edwards.
is.
Yeah. This
100%.
era, the Jahmyr Gibbs, when you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, I see more Donovan Edwards than Blake Corum.
Yeah, Donovan's
Corum's
wild.
Yeah.
Blake Corum, if he would have came out
In
2
the
years ago
2000s?
before that ankle injury, I say yes.
Yeah.
But then once he had the ankle and the shoulder and the knee and you have surgery and you're hiding things and things of that nature, now you're not as fast. He's going to be good. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be
really good.
He's in the right system, too.
He's going to be really
He's
good.
with Sean McVay.
I'm telling you, don't sleep on this guy.
I'm not sleeping. Just I think the NFL is predicated for a Donovan Edwards type running back.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to be exciting to see at the next level for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that, man.
No question.
So what's
I wanted to show you that video that Michigan, but we couldn't get it
I feel
loaded.
bad. It won't load, guys. VMix is rejecting it.
I don't know, Anson. You might want to
another day.
You might want to show.
Anson, can you send me another version of it? I just
another day, guys.
I'm sorry,
Continue
guys.
on.
Yeah.
It was
Anson worked really hard on that Michigan.
I feel
video.
bad, but it wouldn't load. I'm so sorry, bro. I apologize.
Hey, while we're doing that, let me tell you a couple more injuries that are out there before we take our last break. Giants lost a guy today, one of their rookie running backs. I think he was an Iowa guy, Tyrone Tracy. He went down on a non-contact drill. they had to cart this kid off. So that's another loss for the Giants are losing players left and right as well.
They got Motor Singletary, though. They should be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they should. Brown's second-round pick, Michael Hall Jr., arrested for a domestic dispute. So Cleveland's second-round pick, already a kid, man, already is going to be under arrest here for a domestic dispute. Don't know much more about that story, but they lose him for a little bit. Let me take you to Giants camp again now. Malik Neighbors goes down the other day with an ankle injury. Brian Daboll yesterday on the podium. Giant beat writers hitting him up. Hey, what about Neighbors? What about Neighbors? Here's Brian Daboll.
Yeah, sore today. We'll back off him, take it day to day. But that's where we're at with him.
Did he have MRI, X-ray, any of that kind of stuff, just to confirm the worst is not a?
Yeah, they're still doing evaluation on him, but he's a little sore today, so we'll back off him, and then we'll just take it from there.
What does he still have to do in those evaluations?
The medical people look at him, so I'm not going to get into too much of the details. I think he's okay. He's just a little sore today.
I just meant did an X-ray already occur ruling out a fracture?
I don't think it's fractured.
What happened?
He just twisted up a little bit. Wasn't on contact or anything like that. But again, he's a little sore today. We'll just take it day to day and see where he's at.
What do you mean you don't think it's fractured?
I'm telling you, bro.
That's scary.
What type of idiocracy is it?
Scary.
Like you said, the Giants, Brian Daboll and Joe Shane.
2 seconds.
Brian Daboll and Joe Shane. I think they're
morons.
I think they're over their heads, and I mean way over their heads.
100%.
Brian Daboll seemed like he was over his head when he was offensive coordinator when I was in Cleveland. This is very reminiscent. Of how he was erratic, and how it just felt weird when he was the offensive coordinator when I played in Cleveland. Then I watched him have his success in Buffalo, and I said, hey, good for him. He's, years later, he's turned the corner.
Yeah.
Maybe he tried to turn that corner to head coaching too fast. He's gotten to the playoffs. He actually won a playoff game against the Vikings, but just to go to the podium and say, you never go to the podium as a head coach. You're talking about a day after and say, I don't think. But that's not rhetoric that head coaches use at the podium. It just doesn't sound good.
You hear the Giant reporters, they just continue to badger him.
Because they knew they had
him.
Yep.
Is it a sprain? Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. How hard? How bad? And then the one guy's like, hey, is it fractured? Oh, I don't think it's fractured. It doesn't sound good. I pray for I want Malik Neighbors to be 100%. I want to see what this kid's got. I really think that he's going to be special. And for him to have a foot injury already, Bray, that doesn't bode well for the speedy Neighbors.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, and I hope this isn't a fracture. I hope it, just an ankle sprain. I will say this: you better that it's an ankle sprain or ankle fracture, if you will. Fracture is always better than a tear. Like bones heal, especially with a young guy like Neighbors. He'll come back, he'll bounce back full speed. Bones do heal, but when you start talking tears, they got the medicine on the front end. But you start to see things later on in careers. You start to see other injuries or people maybe starting to have some residual effects of that tear. Let's take a last commercial break of the show, and then we'll come back. Tom Mazaway, we will finish off the show. But let's get a message, my man Pete, from the BGCSL, the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan 3C Sports. It is the best league. Now, register now for tackle or cheerleading. And remember, 5 to 14, all coaches, whether it's cheer, whether it's football, whether it's the training staff, whether it's whoever, they do background checks on them. This is the place that you want to be. Let's get your kids outside. Let's put the youth back into youth football. If you want to register to sign up, it is bgcsm.org.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
And shout out to Brady for finally changing this read, man. How would you like to play in Darren McCarty's charity golf outing? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today, and you can play like an MVP, man. Go to woodwardsports.com or scan the QR code on the screen. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. It is Randy Wise Automotive.
All right.
Randy Wise Automotive. Woodward Sports. We're back. Last segment. Reminding that was from Maz once again. Anson Wells filling in. Always fun to do the show with you. Sorry about that graphic, that video, whatever it was. I'm always excited to see what you've cooked up. So
don't worry, we'll get you.
We'll get it.
It's hate. Don't worry about it.
I figured it was hate already though, because he said something.
Gentlemen,
because you said.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah. Well,
oh, P got it.
This is Michigan's version. Oh.
Like I say, I play it under protest, Bray. Play it under protest.
Okay.
Caught you, man. Look at that. That's beautiful.
That was you and I when we got to cover the game in Ann Arbor 2 years ago.
I know what it was.
I've been holding on to that clip for a long time.
I know what it was.
Because you didn't see this man drop many balls in his career, that's for sure.
Hey, man. It's all
Hey, that's a better edit than Colorado.
I thought it was pretty good. I made that myself, man.
That was really done. Well
Appreciate you, Pete, for getting that out there.
I'm sorry it took so long.
Sorry, baby.
Pete.
You got to be able to laugh at yourself.
You've done well.
The more I see that, the more I
feel bad. I felt bad.
Can we listen to it one more time?
Play that again.
Oh, it's going.
That's
And I just took it out of the system.
Let's see what we got going.
I just took it out of the system. There you go.
Yeah. I haven't caught many passes for Michigan State people, so bear with me.
I know that wasn't me throwing it to you.
It was wobbly.
All right, John Navarre.
All right.
Oh,
shit.
Right in the hands, too, Bray.
Hey, speaking of wide receivers, the Commanders signed Martavis Bryant. Remember the former Pittsburgh
where he
Steeler?
been at?
Yeah,
a great year once upon a time.
He's a free agent. I mean, could the Lions have maybe look at him? I don't know. But, well, he's with Washington right now, so that takes care of that. I want to play this for you guys. That we talked about Jim Harbaugh earlier today. Brian Baldinger, one of our favorite guys, right? So, you know how Brian Baldinger always breaks down a Lions video. He breaks down almost every team. This is Brian Baldinger talking about Jim Harbaugh's L.A. Charger offense and how it's going to look.
Was there any doubt the offensive philosophy of Jim Harbaugh? Like you put McFadden in the backfield, the offensive tackle, offset fullback. You got a tight end and Will Dissly, and you just pull the guard on the backside and you run power football. Was there any doubt this is what they were going to look like? This is the first two plays. You got Joe Alt at right tackle, Zion Johnson, Slater. Like, let's just pound it right here. Like, okay, a little scissors action. Fullback goes one way, Patterson goes the other way. Like, that's what they want to do. They want to pound the line of scrimmage. Big bodies, move the ball, all right, on the ground. Like, they want to establish that against everybody they play.
Jim Harbaugh's Chargers.
9.
I think at least.
9.
And I know it's a tough league.
And a tough division.
It's a tough number, but
tough league.
I feel you. It is a tough division, but you can beat the Broncos and the Raiders.
I don't think it's a tough division. Just the Chiefs.
That's what you can beat
tough,
the Broncos.
Tough
and the
conference.
He's coming at the right time of NFL, where it's a very finesse NFL. Not a lot of physicality anymore. A lot of guys not used to that physicality. You're gonna run the ball. You got Rashawn Slater on your left tackle, who's one of the best in the game, and then you got Joe Alt, who will be one of the best in the game on your right side. Now you're putting tackles in the backfield. You're mixing and matching. You're going to wear down that defense. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to take some time, and they are going to get scorched because it's going to take a second. But don't forget, he's got good players on defense. You wear down these teams. You wear down that defense. That's what he's trying to do, much like he did when he got to Michigan. Start running the ball again. You start wearing down these defenses, especially in the last 3 years. So he's just trying to impose his will on those teams. And I think it's gonna be something different for a lot of defensive lines to get used to. Those are some big guys coming at you, all that running around and dancing in circles. So you can't do that when they're running the ball and they're coming right at you. Ask Micah Parsons about what happens when teams run the ball right at him. I love Micah Parsons to death. He tends to disappear.
Yeah, and this style of football really does fly in the face of what's popular right now. Every 5 years in the NFL, you kind of see an evolution. Started, 10 or so years ago, you kind of saw a lot of 12 personnel sets. Then you started to see the committee running back approach. Now you're seeing a laser-guided, quick passing system where, you got Marvin Harrison, who kind of looks like an A.J. Green in, current NFL, which isn't exactly what you want. You want a Malik Neighbors. You want a Tyreek Hill type of guy. So is this the next evolution? It kind of goes backwards a little bit, but if this guy can establish the ground and pound ball control offense that he won a national championship with in Michigan, this is a team that you could see turned around very quickly. They obviously have a very, top 12 quarterback, maybe even a top 10. Now, what I find very interesting is the running back room here. You've got an often injured J.K. Dobbins, who still has a lot of skill if he can be healthy. You've got Gus Edwards, who really played his way through a pretty great offense the last couple of years.
With the Chargers?
Yep. And then you got Kamani Vidal, who is a sleeper rookie that you guys should be looking at in your fantasy leagues. And still you got, I believe, third-year Isaiah Spiller. So he has maybe not that big name running back that he'd like to have, but he's got a whole bunch of horses with all different skill sets that he can plug into this team. I think 9 wins might be a little lofty, but what I will see from this team, I believe, is a major jump in year 2 when all of these guys have gotten used to this new system and fully bought in. And that might take a full year to do it, but I think that if there is anybody, and I will tip my hat to your boy Jim Harbaugh, if there's anybody that can come in and buck the trend and start at one on his own, it's this guy.
I like it.
I love it, man.
I like that, and I like this
Football's
show, man.
here, buddy.
You said what?
Football's almost here.
It is.
Can you believe
4
it?
Sundays away, even less on Thursday. So looking forward to it, man.
Looking forward to it and looking forward to tomorrow's show, man, because this one was definitely one for the books. Appreciate you for coming in. As
Running
always,
hot
Anson
today a little bit.
Right. UMP, man. Shout out to UMP. UMP, you guys knew what you wanted to do today, and you guys executed well, man.
Thank
as well
you, my
as
friend.
KG and my man Tom Mazaway. Miss you, bud. Glad you're back.
Thanks, man.
The gang's all here again tomorrow. We will be back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. And also, do yourself a favor. Register for Randy Wise Automotive Celebrity Golf, man. I'm telling you, those things are fun. I played in one yesterday. It's a lot of fun. If you don't see the QR code on there, go to RandyWiseAutomotive.com. You will find a way to register. We'll see you guys tomorrow from my man Anson Wells, KG Pete, Tom Mazaway. I'm Braylon Edwards, and this is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. See you.
See you.